going on, guys? It's Screech here and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to be talking about the Dark Magician of Destruction and the Gaze of Timaeus. This is two brand new Dark Magician cards we are getting in the OCG in about a month's time. Don't know when we're going to be getting them over in the TCG. However, these two cards have massive meta impact. These two cards could potentially warp the format, similar to something like DPE did, like what, 2 years ago, a year ago now. These are insane. These cards are absolutely ridiculous, and they are super splashable. I'm going to be showing you some cool engines that I've been messing around with today, and some cool boards I've been playing for the last hour, just playing around with some random decks. But we're going to go over the cards first. We'll start off with Dark Magician of Destruction. This card must be either fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by banishing a level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster you control. That effect was previously activated. You can only special summon Dark Magician of Destruction once per turn this way, no matter which way you summon it. It can also, of course, be fusion summoned with the Dark Magician and a light or dark monster. And it has the following effect. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. That is vitally important, as you can do some cool stuff with it in the graveyard as well. And if this card is special summoned, you can add a Dark Magician or card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. The card you will be adding most of the time is the brand new Gaze of Timaeus, which is, you can only activate this card once per turn. Target a Dark Magician or Dark Magician girl you control or in your graveyard, so it can actually target this. And then fusion summon from your extra deck a fusion monster that mentions it as material by shuffling that monster into the deck, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. So it's going to last for your entire turn and your opponent's entire turn. Now, what can you actually make with this thing? You can just make Dragoon. You can literally make Dragoon if you have any level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster. And you might be thinking, well, what level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster monsters can you make? What sort of decks can this be splashed in? You're saying this is the next DPE for the format. Well, these are some of the stuff that you can do with these two cards alone. So the first engine I'm going to talk about is actually going to be Horus. Imseti is a Dark Spellcaster, for those that did not know. So going ahead and activating Imseti and discarding any card will actually trigger the facilities, and you have now activated a spell in King Sarcophagus, meaning that if you play any Horus build, you will have access to cards like Dragoon. Also, you can add cards like Magician's Soul and Magician's Rod to your hand, which we'll see in later combos as well. It's also level 8, so it pairs really well with the Horus cards. As you can see here, we're playing just a Horus Eldritch build I was just messing around with. It's one of my favourite decks I've ever played. Another cool thing to note here, you actually can protect your Dragoon being destroyed during the end phase off of the spell with cards like Dingirsu, or you can go ahead and make things like IP Masquerena and just link it off so that it isn't sticking around on the field and you don't lose any advantage of it. Another engine to talk about is the Diabellstar engine. We're actually just playing a cool Regenesis Diabellstar list here that we were just messing around with a few different decks. The Regenesis stuff does synergize really well with Dragoon because it is 2500 defense. Here you actually see us, we're going to add Magician's Rod as well. Magician's Rod will actually add the new spell, meaning that we can have access to an extra body if your deck doesn't need a normal summon. And you can also see here that we are actually sending the fusion to the grave with the Deception here. And then we're going to go ahead and shuffle it back to make Dragoon anyway. So this board that we're going to be making is pretty cool. We're also ending on that IP Masquerena again, so that the Dragoon can be linked off during our opponent's turn after it's used its effect. Pendulum Magicians, I do have a think. Do think that this has a chance to potentially resurface into the meta. There is 2 cards in this deck alone that triggers it, which is the Celestial Magician that you've just saw there, and Astrograph Sorcerer. We don't actually make a full board here, but we're just kind of showing that even though this deck kind of lost all of its power when Appaloosa Savage and Baron got banned, now we actually have access to Mate Negates, meaning that we have access to potential Link Climb. As you can see, we've got Dragoon and a bunch of fodder here. We've set up scales and that. And the last thing is just Ready Fusion. Ready Fusion alone can just summon a card like Sandwich and then just go straight into the fusion, and the fusion can just add the spell, and the spell can just go straight into Dragoon, meaning that any deck that wants to play 3 copies of Ready Fusion now has access to Dragoon. This is essentially similar to playing things like Millenniumized Restrict back in the day with Instant Fusion, only this is a lot better because it's not just going to be happening during your turn, you're also going to keep that negate going into your opponent's turn. This little engine is ridiculous and has so much potential in the meta. And if you guys have tested anything else and have any spiciness that you want to tell us about, make sure you leave it in the comments down below. I actually am also testing a chaos list because you can trigger it off chaos sork, but it's not very good, so we won't talk about that yet until I've mastered that. But if you have any other cool lists, make sure you leave them in the comment down below. Any other cool techs, it would be really good to make sure that this card is spread across the community, because this card could be a problem when it comes out. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment, subscribe. It's been your boy Screech, guys. Peace!